Charlie, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Perry.
Now, I'm proper excited for this one because we've been talking about doing this for 6 months, maybe.
Yeah.
And I had a baby, so things have been a little bit carnage. You are having another one as well at some point in the near future, so it's going to get carnage for you as well.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to jump on, talk about Best Agent. I'll probe you on it because of the stuff that I want to know more. I know a bit, but I want to know more about it. And I know this would be what I love about your approach to estate agency is that you look at it from the consumer's perspective. Give a quick, for people, I'm sure most people in the group, because you're going out on YouTube and my Facebook page, give a quick intro of who you are, Charlie.
All right. So I'm Charlie Lamdin. Used to be Charlie Wright, as you know. Changed my name for family reasons. One of my kids to have my mum's family name, not my stepdad's. I'm the founder of Best Agent. I'm the sole owner of Best Agent. I don't have any investors or partners, and that's a very important fact when it comes down to what agents think about Best Agent and its potential and its future. I've been providing residential agents with technology and marketing services for over 20 years now. You and I go back many years, 14, 15 now, I think it is.
I don't look old enough. I know. But yeah, it's been a very long time.
In the early 2000s, I had every big name agent you can imagine as a client of my marketing services. We in fact, my company back then was the first ever formally approved digital marketing. So that's photography, floor plans, virtual tours, EPCs. We were the first one ever to be approved by Knight Frank, Savills, Douglas and Gordon, Jackson Stopps, John D. Wood, Farron's. We and then a load more. We had over 100 agencies using us in London and Sydney. And I got to work. So basically, to cut the crap,
I know
more about how estate agency works than anyone else who's never been an agent. Right? I've never been an agent, but I've had you guys as clients for 20-something years, and actually before that, several of my closest friends and a couple of my girlfriends were really successful agents in London, and so I already had front row seats to it from a personal point of view, going right back. So that's my background, right? And my fascination has always been a mover needs to move, and an agent needs that mover to move, otherwise they don't earn anything. So movers and agents actually share the same end goal. So why has it always been such a godforsaken shit fight for both sides? Okay, the experience for movers now is arguably worse than it's ever been. Okay, the pain of choosing an agent because of all the bewildering marketing and misleading marketing. Mention no names, but you know, right out there at the moment, the pain of choice, and then the pain of instructing an agent where before COVID hit, 52% of people who instructed the first agent had to change agents before they could sell. Right?
I think that's pretty much any market condition stat. That I've been checking it quite a lot myself.
Shockingly shit. And the consumer is completely unaware of the fact that they're tossing a coin when they instruct an agent. So yeah, what a disastrous experience it is for half of them to go.
So I think the really important thing there is that the industry use that to beat the likes of Purple Bricks with, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not just the Purple Bricks models or the online upfront models. And what I really like about you is you're very pro no sale, no fee, choose the right agent in the first place approach, aren't you? And pay well rather than do it 4 times and eventually sell.
So my advice, just so all agents know this, right? Nobody is a bigger supporter of what estate agents do than I am. I really mean that. There is not another individual in this country outside. So I'm not an agent. I've never been an agent, but I've worked with you guys for decades. No one understands what you guys do better, understands the value you add better, or is a bigger supporter of the incredibly difficult and complicated job that you guys do. Okay. The reason it is a false economy not to pay an agent a full fee is because to get the maximum price for a house requires real skill, experience, and hard work. And if you are not getting a decent full fee, you can't afford to do the work that it takes to get the best result.
Do it properly. Right? Yeah.
And here's something I'm going to say that's controversial. in my opinion, and I say this as someone that's got more love for agents than anyone else that's not an agent.
And before you say that, and you potentially pee everyone off, I can absolutely say that, knowing you as I do, and it's the approach that I take with myself, is that love me or hate me, I want to improve the experience. With you, love you or hate you, you are fighting for the agents to do well and get paid well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
as you were, sir.
But I'm fighting for agents to do well and get paid well, because I know that what an agent does, when an agent delivers well for a client, it's a life changer for that client, and it ripples into the rest of their life. And I have this expression, which is, your choice of agent will change your life, for better or worse, depending on
you
your
decide
choice.
everyone. Yeah.
You find the best agent for you, and they could work anywhere. They could work in any brand, big or small, right? You find that best individual agent, and they will get your property sold faster for a higher price, and therefore put you in a position to buy a nicer new home sooner than a mediocre agent or a crap agent that just lists your property and goes after 3 months, oh, sorry, we haven't got any offers, bye. Which happens incredibly, so much. So I've seen all kinds of agency up close. I've consulted to agents. I've seen agents that have all the qualifications after their name, and they're members of all the associations, who are breaking the law and doing a terrible job. So I don't believe that being a member of an association is a guarantee of anything for the consumer, right? I do support the training that those associations provide. That makes sense, right? And I've also seen agents who are not members of any associations who deliver better results than any of their competitors locally. The point being, if you're a consumer, it is bewildering. On Saturday, Perry, the Daily Mail put a story out. Graham Norwood wrote the story with advice on how important it is to choose your agent. And I'm sorry, it's bollocks. It's the same old, tired, useless advice that the media's been giving the consumer for decades, which is, well, have a look around, ask your friends for recommendations, maybe do some mystery shopping. Who's got time for mystery shopping? And then look for someone that's probably a member of an association, and then go with them. And of course, that's the same and they've always say, of course, pick three, and it's just, well, which three? And there's no advice on how to pick which three. And so people end up picking three. And given that there's an average of 15 agents to choose from, you pick three at random, you have an 80% chance of missing the best agent for you personally. And as you know, it's always a very personal thing. It's, does the owner feel comfortable with the person that's saying, I'm going to sell your house for you?
Yeah, well, so that's where I think the choice of agent needs more thought, because, and I've been on a rampage myself. I've got the most downloaded guide on my website is 16 crucial questions to ask your estate agent. Most people only ask 2. How much is it worth? How much can you charge? Or how little can you charge me? And so I think that's a really interesting point. So that leads on quite nicely, I guess, then to because let's lead on to best agent. What is best agent? Why should agents care about it? What problems it's solving? All that kind of stuff. But the important thing to understand is that what best agent isn't as well. And what I'm sure it isn't is another property portal, right? Which everyone seems to be banding around at the minute. There's loads of challenger portals and stuff like that. You're there to serve the consumer, I think, first and foremost. And as a result, you serve agents better as well.
Best Agent has an internal motto, which is deliver the difference or die, right? If we don't deliver a tangible benefit or difference to both movers and agents that come into contact with Best Agent, we don't deserve to exist. There's no point in our existence unless we actually deliver a difference, right? So it's a big story. So let me just try and ask you this question, Perry. Can you ever remember, because I think most agents can remember a time when you've met a client of a property you really want to list, you know you can sell it and get them a great deal, and they go with someone else, right? They go with someone else, and you know the person they've gone with is not as good as you. You know they're not going to get as good a price. You know they're not going to look after the client as well as you. You know that client is going to get a worse experience, right? You deserve that instruction, and yet you still didn't get it. Yeah.
Happened 3 months ago. And this was a close kind of person,
Right.
not family or friends, but they know I've been selling a load of property in their village for a long time.
Yeah.
And they're now on their second and third agent, all because they won't pay 2%.
Yeah. It's such a false economy. And that's one of the things I want to use Best Agents marketing to change, because we are impartial. So what do? In a nutshell, we help movers who don't know who to choose or how to choose their agent avoid the pitfalls and the traps and the tricks set by those agents that are very good at vacuuming up leads and very good at closing the signature on the instruction document, but not so good on delivering a result, right? Those agents don't deserve the business they're getting. They're getting the business because of their marketing, but their service doesn't live up to their marketing promises. And so the consumer loses. And I am out to protect the consumer from those agents wherever they may work. And I'm talking about the individuals. Yes, there are some companies where that's culture to behave like that. But in all companies, you get good and bad valuation managers, right? Listings, whatever you want to call them. So number one, the biggest difference between Best Agent and anything else out there in this space is that we are not only 100% neutral, okay, agent agnostic, completely impartial, but more importantly, we are totally unaffected by corporate influence. We will never allow corporate contracts, because in my view, it is corporate contracts that have distorted the market and taken it where it is, right? We're happy to sell leads to corporations, but they'll be treated on a branch by branch basis. So every branch, is, as far as we're concerned, is equal. It doesn't matter whether you're a one-man band with 4 listings or a 400 listing super branch. You're the same as far as we're concerned. It doesn't matter if you're part of a big network or not. You're the same. Okay. So we've already had some well-known corporate brands contact us and go, someone from your accounts department needs to talk to us and set up a contract. We're like, no. And they're like, what do you mean no? Sorry, you've got the lead. It's up to you. It's up to you to engage with it or not. We don't care if you do, because if you don't, there are other agents that will. So it's entirely up to you. So the corporations are very confused because they're not used to any sort of supplier treating them the same as a one branch independent.
And I think as well, just to nip it in the bud from an agent's perspective, and I think the perception of your kind of services and your kind of websites, I use GetAgent as an example, right?
Yeah.
I was a massive advocate of Kobe and the team. Really I probably helped them quite a lot maybe in the early days, but then they become who's got the more money to sponsor the area postcodes and that kind of stuff. And it really pivoted. They used to show publicly transparent historic data of every single agent in the country. Then they didn't show purple bricks because they weren't an estate agent. Then they put all their publicly available data behind a opt-in, which then you end up getting sold 5 different agents that are paying them the most money. It become to serve the agent. They really did change, and I've told Kobe this myself, and so I stopped getting behind it.
They changed when they got that big £2 million investment, and they suddenly had an investor who just wants their return.
Yeah.
And right there is the story of exactly why we don't have any investors.
And that's why these conversations are really important, because I think the natural thing is, another website trying to charge you 0.25% per lead. I see agents in the groups, and we've sold properties that have come from GetAgent, and we'll pay them their fee. But you see a lot of agents that just refuse, you can't seem to get yourself off their website either. I'm quite happy being on there, but it seems to be a lot of friends of mine have tried to get their profile taken down, and they won't or can't do that either.
Well, I mean, I know Colby, and I think he's a good guy, and I liked him. And again, in the early days, I thought they were doing something quite good. But what GetAgent offers the consumer isn't solving any problem for the consumer. It's just lead harvesting.
Well, I actually, and this is a really interesting point, because I did go through their process as a consumer, because I was like, this is great, base choose your agent based on performance, not fee, right? Was their very early days kind of proposition. And then sign up as a client.
There's a problem with that. I'll come on to that in a minute. There's a problem with that.
First email I get the best fee, selling it like then it was all about fee, and it really switched me off. But yeah,
I mean that's terrible that the Get Agent are telling you how to get low fee. I mean that's that is one of the reasons that the whole industry for the consumer is in such a state. I mean, residential agency is the only industry that hasn't changed as far as the consumer is concerned since the internet came along. It now takes even longer to move than it did before the internet. Okay, it steadfastly refuses to improve, and it's for all of these reasons. It's for lead gen companies skewing things to whatever makes them the most money. Right? Rightmove does nothing wrong. Okay, it's a perfectly legitimate business. It does its own job very well, but it has become the single largest barrier to innovation in the industry. It siphons value and data and money out of the industry and sends it to its American hedge fund owners, because the American hedge funds own more than a quarter of Rightmove, right? And it does it very well, and that's its job, right? It's a publicly listed corporation. Its job is to make money, tick the box, job done. But they are literally a giant concrete wall in the way of any progress for the industry. And it's one of the things we want. Rightmove is going to be around forever, but BestAgent is offering agents a different way forward that will give them an alternative where they've got more control of their costs, more control of their business, and are less reliant on any other lead gen provider. Okay, because BestAgent's charging model is pay per lead if you want it. So you never pay for anything that you didn't choose and go, I want that. I'm happy to buy that lead. There's no subscription, there's no tie-in, there's no contract. No one has to be involved. Everyone is invited. All agents will be sent leads. They can ignore them if they want. They can look at them and go, no, don't want that one. It's cost them nothing. There's no data feeds required, nothing. There's no time from an agent required. So we've committed to not wasting any agent's time with complicated and, by the way, expensive data feed setup. Right? We've got all the data. It's not necessary to do those data feeds. And the cost per lead, I mean, our cost for an instruction is 1/10 for Get Agents. Right? £250,000 instruction from us currently costs 50 quid. If you get it. But that's on instruction, not exchange or completion, right? Because again,
I agree with that. I think that's a better charging model personally, because I'd rather, it's not your fault if we cock it up.
Exactly the point. So we've had agents go, well, I'm not paying up front. Well, why? Aren't you confident you can sell it?
That goes back to why agents tie in for 12, 14, 16, 24 weeks. And agents that don't have a tie-in will probably be in agreement with your pay per lead model. Agents that have got a long contract period probably don't want to pay until completion.
Yeah. Well, the point is, everything I've done is designed to improve the chances of the mover finding a better agent and getting a better result. And when that happens, the agent they chose will also get a result that they didn't have to pay anything up front for. So I think it's important for anyone watching this to understand that, okay, how does it work, right? If a new seller or landlord lead comes along and is looking for an agent, how does it work? So they come to our website, they put in their basic information, their basic property information, including whether it's freehold or leasehold, number of bedrooms, etc. And click register, and it's done once. Now there's actually 3 big differences between this and any other agent finding service available to them. Number one, it includes up to the 20 geographically closest agents to that listing. So for every listing, our algorithm actually goes out and checks by distance who are the 20 nearest agents who currently list 2 or more properties in that postcode for sale today.
So side pause that a minute. So it's not their office location.
Yes, it is.
It is their office location.
It's their office location at the moment. So that's good. Now there's a workaround for freelancers who don't have an office location that we've picked up. They'll be able to register an office location with us that will put them wherever they are based. Okay, because we've had to design a single mechanism for the whole country. Okay, so up to 20 agents. all 20 of those agents, whether they've ever dealt with us before or not, will be sent an invitation to respond to that client. Okay? And they will be given they'll be given the street name, property information, but they won't be giving any identifiable information, okay? Because this is before the seller or the owner has decided who they want to invite for evaluation. This is a shortlisting, effectively, process. It's a one-click, 20 agents get invited. Now, typically what's happening is only half of the agents are responding.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah.
So 10 of the agents don't even respond. They're self-selecting themselves out for whatever reason. But the ones that do respond are always the more forward-thinking ones who are like, this is great. I'm getting a chance to meet a client that I wouldn't otherwise have met, and it's cost me nothing so far. And the agents have an option to record a short video message saying, hello, my name's Charlie. I see that you've got your 3-bedroom semi in RH2 coming onto the market in the next 2 to 4 weeks. I've been working here for this long. I know that patch quite well, and I'd love a chance to talk to you about it. And what that does is something that nothing else does, which is it gives the seller a chance to see who they would be inviting round. It gives a chance to actually make a bit of a personal connection. So from that point, the seller's then got 2 options. If they like the video message they've had, one click, that agent's invited for evaluation, and they're sent the details, and they can just tell them what time they want to come, or they can arrange it themselves. At that point, we immediately release the seller's full information to the agent. They've said, yeah, I want to invite that agent round. That's option 1. Or option 2, they can also have a video call with that agent. So I like that agent. I'd have a bit more of a chat with them before he comes around. You know, the countryside, sometimes there's longer distances to travel. And sometimes agents also, they'd like to know a bit about the seller before they invest time in preparing for an appraisal, a pitch, that kind of stuff. You know, I know as well, there's lots of agents who, they look at a vendor, they look and they go, you know what, this vendor's they're not actually committed. They're tire kickers. I haven't got time for this, so I don't want to. And that, again, that video call helps. So we've actually got video calling, like Zoom or Skype or whatever you want to call it, built into BestAgent. So the moment an agent responds and goes, yeah, I'm happy to talk to that client, and the client clicks one button, they can be talking on any browser, real-time video call immediately. It's like walking off the street. Anyway, I'm going into too much detail. Every agent's invited. Every agent gets an equal chance to introduce themselves, talk to the guy, talk to the client, and get an evaluation. Now, what happens at the end result? So far, the vast majority of sellers using this service to choose their agent have ended up picking an agent they would never have called and getting a result they never knew was possible. It's usually over asking price in under a week. And we've had sellers, now some of them are first-time sellers, some of them are sellers who have sold before, and they think, well, it takes 3 to 6 months and we're going to get 97% of asking price. That's just what happens, and we're okay with it, right? And they don't believe that better is possible. So we've got instances of both, right? Where you've got first-time sellers going, that was so easy. We didn't have to ring anyone. We didn't have to send any emails. It was like, fill out BestAgent. The ones who wanted our business the most came to us. We clicked yes, come for an appointment. Boom, happy days. And the hard cold fact is this, right? If you're a seller and you've got 20 agents to choose from, you've got no idea where that outstanding individual works, and you do not have time to ring all 20 or email all 20 or have 20 valuations. No one's got time. So at the moment, the best case scenario for a seller who doesn't know who they want to use is picking at random. And that's why so many have such a bad experience. So, and we don't, so there's never any discussion of fee as far as we're concerned, right? And in fact, all of our advice is when you find an agent you trust, motivate them by paying the fee they ask for. And in fact, we even say that an agent who volunteers to be the cheapest agent and will not be beaten on fee up front, that is a warning sign of an agent that doesn't know how to maximize the value of your home. They don't know how to negotiate properly. They're not going to fight. Look how easy they're giving in on their fee. They're not going to fight for your, every extra £1,000 for your property. So we are going to be, and Perry, you know as well as I do, right? Great people move agencies. They might work. You started off in a corporate for a long time, and you set up on your own, right? That's happening week in, week out. So there's no such thing as a brand that is consistently reliable. You might have an office that's consistently reliable while the branch manager is there. And there are corporates that have outstanding agents running them and deliver great results. You know, this isn't an anti-corporate agent thing at all. Okay. It's an anti-corporate influence movement. Okay. And I want to invite agents, anyone watching this, I'll put links below. There's a private Facebook group where we're inviting anyone who works in agency, not just business owners or branch managers, anyone who works in agency who's sick of the way the whole industry currently works, who'd like to see more customers getting a better outcome, and who want to talk about how what we've built can help shape an alternative future for agents that's also better for movers.
Tell me, before we went online, before we went live, you were sharing some really, it kind of blew my mind, the kind of statistics that you were talking about.
Right.
And I think that really, if anyone's in any doubt that this needs fixing, I think that will really bring to fruition that it definitely does.
Okay.
So before we do that, if anyone watching, put the first part of your postcode or a postcode in the comments, and if you're quick enough, so for me it's RH2 or RH1 or RH6, if you're quick enough, we can get Charlie to show some live data, which is really interesting. But I might not see all the comments unless they've ticked. Oh, here we go. BN2. Here we go, Charlie. CH61. They're all coming in. KT11.
CH61.
Remember to share your screen, and I'll push it into feed when you're ready.
Okay, give me a minute.
This I find is really incredible, what you're about to go over. And while you're doing that, tell me when you're done. But I'm all for a level playing field. Like, if I don't want to respond to an instruction, an appraise inquiry, I'll just delete it. If I want to be on it like Sonic and reply to it with a video within 20 minutes, guess what? My chances of converting that from appraisal to instruction go through the roof. So I really like the way you've got it set up like that.
Well, okay, so here's the screen, right? Someone said BN2, didn't they?
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to bring it into stream now. There we go.
So this data is accurate as of 4:15 this afternoon. All right. So there are 1,041 properties currently listed as for sale in BN2, right? Brand Vaughan Kemp Town is number one agent of 163 agents listing properties in that postcode. Now, what I want to show you here, and what I'd love all of your viewers to understand, is that anywhere you go in the country, there's the same pattern. There's this two-tier industry where the top 10% of agents, so let's say that's the top 16 agents, right? Out of 1,000 properties, I'm going to bet you the top 17 agents have got around 500 instructions, which is 50% of the market, right? So what have we got here? I have to be doing my mental arithmetic.
I've got a calculator here if you want it, because I'm no good at mental arithmetic.
Right. So this is the number of instructions that they've got, and there's the name of them down there.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 139, 170, 181, 211, 218, 278, 280, 311, 341, 361, 359. So we're already at 359, and there's another 100 there, 459. Yeah, 500. It's nearly almost exactly 500. So out of 1,000 properties and out of 163 agents, the top 16 or 17 agents have got 50% of the market. Now that's market share. That's not by sold, right? That's by a list of properties. Now look how long the list of agents is listing properties in BN2. Okay. This is today's data. It goes on and on and on and on. There's so many. Now, what this means is that the top 10% on average have got 10 times the number of listings of the bottom 90%. Let me give you the maths. Okay, I just want to come back to stop sharing now. Okay, I'm happy to share that again if anyone wants it. But so I wish I could visualize it better for you. But if 10% of the agents have got 50% of the properties. That means they've got an average 5% each, right? So the top 10% of agents have got an average 5% of the market each. That means that the bottom 90%, who've got the other 50% between them, have got 0.45% market share each. In other words, 1/10. So the top 10% of agents, on average, have got 10 times the listings of the bottom 90%, the long tail of smaller agents. Now, if you're a consumer, and I represent consumers here, right? I represent movers. This doesn't stack up. I don't believe that the agents with the largest market share are 10 times better than the other 90% of agents. It just doesn't stack up. So why is it happening? It's happening because those top 10% generally tend to have very effective marketing departments running constant marketing campaigns that have been investing in for years that generate an inbound lead, so that when the mover, and this comes back to my point about bad media advice to the consumer, right? If you can go and search online, how do I choose my agent? And anywhere you go, it basically says pick 3 at random, pretty much. Well, what happens when Joe Public picks 3 is that they'll pick 3 out of those top 10 because those top 10 have got the most visibility. And the other 90%, which is most agents, won't get a call. Okay? So, and what I know as someone who understands, and I've seen all kinds of agency, good and bad, indifferent, I've seen outstanding, I've seen terrible, all of it. I know that those big market share agents do not have instructed to sold performance or price achieved performance 10 times better than the other 90% of agents, which means if you're one of those other 90% of agents, you're not even getting a chance to talk to half the market. Those top 10% of agents are vacuuming up half the market. You never even get a look in to talk to them. Okay? So got the top 10% who are happy days all day long, inbound instruction leads all day long. And the other 90%, fighting, nurturing, building personal brand. Yeah, you guys, and I think most of your group members understand the up at dawn, relentless shit fight of prospecting and nurturing your leads and your lead pipeline, right? And that takes so much. It's 10 times harder, and agents don't deserve it to be that harder. So what I want to do for movers is to let all agents get the business they deserve at the expense of the agents getting business they don't deserve. Now, let me define that. I'm not saying all the market leaders are bad. I'm not saying that, right? I know of places where there are agents with the top 10, they're in the top 10% and their market share is very large, but they're actually a one branch independent who's just outstandingly good in that area, and they've earned that place by reputation, right? But a lot of them are there because of the machine. And it's just a machine cranking in numbers, cranking out numbers, and their fall through rate, their instructed to sold rate is poor, and their attention to their clients' personal needs is poor, and their client contact is poor compared to the passion they get from a smaller independent with not so many clients, but who really wants to deliver that outstanding result. So the way we've designed BestAgent prevents any corporate marketing from getting an advantage. Every single one of those 20 nearest agents has an absolutely equal chance to introduce themselves to every seller or landlord lead that comes through BestAgent. And we do not get involved, right? That we are completely impartial. Okay, so if you look at the maths of the top 10% having 50% of the market and the bottom 90% having 50% of the market, right? If what we do ends up reducing the market share of the top 10% of agents from 50% to say 30%, which would actually be much more rational and make sense, and you took the 20% of stock that BestAgent's taken away from them and distributed it amongst the other 90%, you're talking about more than doubling the number of instructions that all those other 90% of agents get. Whilst those top guys are still actually doing nicely, thank you very much. So there is this big imbalance, and it's in cities, it's in towns, it's in the countryside. Everywhere you look, it's the same. Some of those top agents deserve their market share. Most of them don't. Most of them don't. But
And that, I mean,
the ones that do will still get the leads from us.
that is that's really deep. And but what's really it's really interesting there, because let's say now you're a new agent starting up, or you're trying to push into a new area, knowing that what you've just said, rather say there was 400 sales in that area in the last 12 months. Immediately, you should be focusing your business forecasts on half of that, on 200 deals, because the first 200 are going to be, you're never going to compete for that first 200. So I don't think you're going to get 10% market share in 12 or 5% of 400. You should be budgeting and forecasting your 5% of 200, because you ain't getting a look in on that first 200. Maybe on the second-hand business, but whatever, switcher strategy. But I just find that really interesting.
I've got a question for you. I'd like to ask you as an agent, and see what your opinion is, and see if you think other agents would agree with this, right? I don't have any investors. It's cost nearly 5 million quid over the last 5 years to build the tech that we've got to do this. I've bootstrapped that to make certain that I don't have corporate interests or investors telling me how we should do it and end up going down the route get agents done, right? Where something that had great potential ends up just being hijacked by investors. Because I don't have investors, I don't have the kind of marketing budget that I would have if I did have investors. But I still need to get out to the consumer and find them, right? So that they know to come to BestAgent.
Well, that was one of my next questions, is what's BestAgent's biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge is public awareness. Now, we're not charging or costing any agents anything. So we're under no pressure to deliver. We're not about to start charging 500 quid a month in 2 months' time, right? So we're under no pressure to say, it's like, well, don't worry, we're not costing you, not even costing any time, let alone any money. So we're costing you nothing until we deliver you a lead, right? Only then you decide if you want to respond or not. But I want to ask agents to consider what I've just said about the market data, to consider the fact that if that 50% that's only calling the top 10% of agents was to start using BestAgent to choose their agents, the rest of the agents, the 90%, would end up getting twice as many opportunities to talk to a vendor. For that reason, and I think a lot of agents are going to think, Charlie, you're being very optimistic here, but I can prove it with the maths, right? It makes mathematical sense for all agents who are losing out on instructions to agents that don't deserve it to promote BestAgent in their own marketing, right? Sticker in the window, sticker in your car, link on your website. Because you won't be taking anything away from your fellow agents, your fellow smaller independents. It doesn't change the business you're currently getting. It only opens up new leads to you that otherwise would never have come. And now I'm sure agents need a lot of time to think about that, but
no, I think
slowly to persuade agents to actually promote BestAgent, because we are totally neutral and don't let any brands get an advantageous position here, and that they can see that not only is it beneficial for the mover, but also beneficial for the long tail of smaller agents. That costs agents nothing to put a sticker in their window, to put a link on their email or their website to BestAgent. It costs them nothing, right? To talk about it, to recommend it. And it almost certainly will result in more opportunities to meet clients that they wouldn't otherwise get. So this is why I'm asking agents to join the Facebook group that I've set up. If you search for BestAgent on Facebook, you'll find the group, and it's a private agents only. And it's not just owners, it's employees as well, anyone. So you might be a valuation manager for a big corporation. If you're really good and care about your customers, join the club, right? We're going to vet every single person that joins to make sure they are actually an agent. And the discussion there is just about how we can improve the industry for movers.
I think that's pretty much a no-brainer for agents that take the view, choose the agent that's right for you, as opposed to choose me, I'm an estate agent. There's a massive difference there. I've had clients that I've suggested they should go with Purple Bricks initially because they've got loads of time on their hands. They're we know we're here to serve busy people, and busy people are going to pay a bit more for that service level. Forgetting the performance side of it, yes, we'll achieve 2-3% more than your average estate agent in the UK, blah, 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 blah. But we know who we serve. And I said to a client, must have been 6 weeks ago, you're not going to see the value of our service because you have loads of time on your hands. You're home all the time. You're a first-time seller, so you're quite tech savvy. You want to do your own viewings because a friend's told you that you should. I absolutely think you shouldn't, but that's fine. Give that a try. And if it doesn't work out, then my phone's always on. And I got a call about 2 weeks ago saying it's gone pretty dead. I'll be in touch in a couple of weeks. So it's because I'm all about choose the agent that's right for you, not hoodwinking them into thinking that we are right for them. So I massively believe for agents with that mindset, then there'll be no reason not to recommend Best Agent. And if they don't want the inquiries that come through, they can delete them, right?
They can just ignore them. Not even.
It would be silly to do that, obviously, but I think it helps bring back as well. A side note is, bring back the hustle of estate agency. Respond quick, respond at 8 o'clock at night.
Actually, that's a really important point. So I saw some agents online commenting the other day about another new player in the portal space that has a 15-minute rule, right? When a vendor inquires on their website and wants a val, an online instant val, or whatever they call it, right? Agents have only the signed up agents can respond, and they must respond in 15 minutes. And I saw agents saying, I'm sitting down watching telly with my family, right? And I've got to make a decision. Do I respond to this? Because I've got to guess a valuation without seeing the property. And I've got to do it in 15 minutes. Otherwise it gets opened up to other agents. And he's like, he said, it's a horror. So we made the decision to put no time limit on it. Now, of course, agents who respond sooner are more likely to get a good result. But let me tell you the results. So what tends to happen when we have every time we have a new instruction that comes through is the first 3 or 4 agents will respond within a couple of hours, which is plenty fast enough, right? Mm-hmm. Any agent that can respond within 15 minutes probably isn't busy enough. Yeah. You're talking to another client, you're doing a viewing and tying up a deal. The best agents I know wouldn't be able to drop everything every time a lead came in and do a made up valuation in 15 minutes. Okay. So there's no limit, right? Most vendors are looking to choose an agent within a couple of weeks, not tomorrow. They're not panicking. They're going, right, let's see who wants our business. They get 3 or 4 that reply quickly. And over the next couple of days, you get another 3 or 4. So we're typically getting 6 or 7 agents out of the 20 that we invite responding. But they always contain those forward-thinking, switched-on, up-to-date agents that are hungry and come across as really impressive. And it's all the old codgers and old farts and technophobes and dinosaurs that go, oh, no, we don't work like that. Yeah. We've already had Foxtons getting involved, Knight Frank getting involved, but some other sort of stuffier older brands go, oh, no, this is not how we work. Well, fine. We don't care. As long as we can deliver our vendors who come through us a choice of 5 or 6 agents, we've already doubled what they'd normally get. It's already self-selected out the old backwards thinking ones. The people using Best Agent to find an agent tend to be more millennial, first-time sellers, very comfortable with tech. And they want an agent that's going to message them on WhatsApp or, just be a bit more tech comfortable. So,
well, that's how we've adapted to tech really well, because we are serving that busy millennial. I'm 35. I've got 3 kids. I would rather a message than a phone call right now. And I'll say, great, let's speak at 6:30 this evening. But don't call me now.
Exactly. You say to a millennial as well, who's busy running a business or working in a job wherever they are and looking after a family and everything else, and saying, oh, you need to ring round each agent and repeat your life story every time. They're going to go, what? Can't I do this online?
Well, people pay for convenience. So arguably, your fees would be better from the kind of people that are using Best Agent, because they're probably using it in the first place for time gain. And
that's the point. So there's 3 big benefits that movers get. Number 1, it's by far the most convenient way to say, I'm coming to the market. Right? Every agent gets a chance to respond, and you find out who's keenest for your business. You haven't had to ring anybody. So that's number 1. Number 2, we have total privacy on their data. We've already had 2 major data companies say, oh, we can pay you if you share your cookie data with us, if we can do cookie tracking, and I've just gone, no, because movers and consumers don't want that. They don't want everyone to know that they're about to move the cookie. They'd like to release that when they're ready to whoever they want to. Now, you go to any other website, every agent gets sent your contact details immediately, and you start getting bombarded. Whereas with BestAgent, you've invited the agents, they can respond, you've still got your privacy. Until you decide who you want to talk to, you've still got your privacy, and you aren't going to get on everyone's mailing list. So, and then number 3, we're having wildly better results than they expected. Now, this is not meant for sellers who already have a relationship with a great agent and know who they're going to use, right? We're not trying to get everybody. We're trying to get busy, time-poor people who need to sell, don't really know who they want to use, and just want to actually put the ball in the agent's court to come to them.
Yeah, I think it's really, really good. And I will put a link into your group, into the PowerAgent group after this live as a separate post. So just to understand, because it's more for my benefit as well to understand. So you don't charge for us to receive the lead, or you do? No, only if we're instructed on it.
Only instructed agents. So you don't get charged for receiving the lead, responding to it. If you get invited around for evaluation or market appraisal, you don't get charged for that. Only if you're instructed.
Because that's really good as well. But that's really important, because the reason why I don't like paying for appraisals is because we might turn up and decide that actually the client's not right for us. Exactly. There's the assumption there that every client is paid by appraisal, and because every client you're going to try and convert. I've had many times, it might be that we might instruct it later down the line, but right then and then, if they've been told by another agent or 2 or 3 agents that the price they can achieve is at a level that I think's unattainable, then I'll tell them politely and tell them my phone's always on. That's really good. I think it's answered a lot of questions I had, because I think we've all been seeing BestAgent around. You created that amazing image that's flying around the internet still on what an agent actually does.
And
I think at the time,
I'll put that back in the group again as well. I'll post that if you like. I'll put a link to
anyone. Put it in there, because it's that kind of, if you're great at educating consumers about estate agent choice. Fact, really good, and it's unbiased as well. It's not like if I do a post on how to choose an estate agent, it's like biased because it's Perry that owns Power Bespoke. When it comes to BestAgent, and I really believe that if agents jump onto your content, reshare the content, what an agent really does. There was a post in the group the other day where you'll probably scroll down later when the kids are in bed and read through it, but Nikki put a post in, screen grab, someone's put on her Facebook thing, I would only ever choose an online estate agent. She screen grabbed it, put it in the group and said, guys, how would you reply to this? It had probably 70 replies from agents in the group. Everyone answered it differently, and all you've got to do potentially is plonk the image to BestAgent, showing that what agents really do into that kind of comment.
Yeah, I know the post you mean. I commented in that as well. So, just for anyone that's watching that wonders what we're talking about, we designed a diagram that's intended to impartially explain how complicated selling or letting a home is, and it's got 3 stages, just 32 separate steps, and everyone that looks at it, every move that looks at it goes, wow, God, I never thought about that. Jeez, well, yeah, like, so who you choose is important. So I'm hoping. Now, we don't need all agents. If we end up with 1 in 3 agents just casually going, yeah, I'd play along with if I got a lead from BestAgent. 1 in 3 agents ready. And if anyone watching this is wondering what they need to do, number 1, you don't have to do anything, right? If you become one of those 20 nearest agents to one of our leads, you'll get emailed. But if you want to have a slight advantage on your competitors there, go to BestAgent, click on the link at the bottom that says agents, set up your account. And when you open your back office account, you'll see your own listings already in there, right? From the harvesting that we do, the data harvesting that we do. You'll see your listings in there. They're not 100% accurate, but they're mostly accurate. And you'll also see your competitor agents by postcode with the market share. And that's free, right? That's part of BestAgent back office. So,
and just a side note, you said they're not all accurate. Can we feed to make them accurate, 100% accurate from our portal feed or not?
One day, what you can do, what anyone can do, is actually choose to use BestAgent as their primary source, because BestAgent back office uploads to portals. So we've got a real-time link to Rightmove, real-time link to Zoopla, real-time link to On the Market. We would have had a real-time link to Boomin, but they didn't want to pay for it. So it's like, we're not doing it for free.
Yeah, no, I think I'm well overdue another look in. You know, we've been chatting over it for a long time, but something as simple as, you know, rather than all those buyers of properties to sell that come through your front door or through your portal leads because they've inquired about a house you're selling, rather than saying, see, you got a house to sell, when going to come around and see it, it'd be far more helpful by saying, see, you got a house to sell, really important you choose the right estate agent for you. Make sure you check out BestAgent so you don't end up choosing the wrong agent. And one of those agents in that list will probably be you, but you're coming at it from a whole different helpfulness as opposed to conversionness.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, agents were putting other stickers in their windows for years, you know, for sites they were paying for, and in doing so, building the brand in the consumer's eyes. So if an agent trusts that I don't have any grand designs to suddenly have corporate accounts, you know, I'm here to make a difference. That's what I'm motivated by. I really want to achieve the difference in the industry that I know is possible, that's currently prevented by corporate interests. Okay? That's what I want to do. Rightmove has the money to do something radical and innovative if it wanted to. It won't. We'll never do that because it's too risky. It'll just keep on making its money. And while it does, it's hurting everyone. And if BestAgent ends up being a small player in this marketplace, right? You know, number 10 in this marketplace, then that's already going to significantly undermine the monopolistic position of some of the bigger ones, especially for the smaller agents. So it's early days. You know, it's a very large piece of tech. It's an incredible piece of tech. It's effectively got the front end of a portal, because we've got all the listings displayed on the front end so people can book viewings online. Still, you know, we've got most of the listings there. There's no branding on the front because movers aren't interested, and that reduces the chances of agents just listing stuff to have their brand up there. So there's no longer that gaming necessity to game the portal. We've got the back office, which is a CRM system. It's a free basic CRM system which uploads to portals and offers a free website for agents that haven't got their own website. And we've got the supplier marketplace, which I talked about a few years ago, but which will allow you to connect your suppliers into your own backend via a REST API. We've built this massive piece of tech, and you know, you just someone watching this just gave a postcode. I put it in there. You saw the data that came up, right? That data of the whole country. And last point, I mean one more point because I know I'm going on.
Now go on.
Some agents might worry that, oh, hang on a second, are you going to, because we've got the sold and under offer data, sorry, the for sale versus under offer. So we can track over time failure rates, price drops, and percentage of asking price achieved eventually when you connect to the land registry. And someone might think, oh God, Charlie's on the side of the movie, he's going to publish all that data to the consumer. No, I'm not, because it doesn't help them. Because an agent's average performance is irrelevant to an individual seller. Your average performance is your average performance. Every individual client gets a different experience. They're either above average or below average. They either got a better. So you might be a tiny agent. You've just left a corporation, but you're really, really good. You've only got a couple of instructions, but you're shit hot. There's no point in getting a mover to consider market data in their choice. It should only be based on how they feel about the person that they've met, and how they connect, and what their pitch is about how they're going to maximize the price of the property. So, but what we are going to do as a thank you to agents for just getting involved is, if you open your back office account, we're going to be sharing more and more the data I just described, which is in your postcode, which agents have got the worst performance rate on instructed to sold, on price drops, on final sold price, right? And what agents do with that information is up to them. Okay, so if you're a small agent with a small volume of sales but very high success rates, and the client you're talking to says, well, I'm thinking about going with Joey Big Boots down the road because they've been here for they've got loads of stuff, loads of sale boards. You'll be able to show them if that other agent's performance actually doesn't stack up to yours. So it'll be up to agents as to whether they want to use that data in a pitch in private.
Yeah, I'm a massive fan of you leverage what you need or what you've got at the time, as long as you go to it with good intentions. Like, I remember early days, someone said, Perry, why would I instruct you? Because you haven't sold any houses in my town. And I said, that's exactly why you should instruct me to sell yours. It was that simple. And it was like, yeah, good point, actually. Like, it was really, I said, you've got a choice. You can go with a market leader that no doubt will sell your place, but they probably won't care as much as I will. Or you can go with me. I'm definitely going to sell your place because otherwise I'm not eating next week. Yeah. And I'll really care about it because you're my source of my next client.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. And that I think probably my longest live I've ever done, but I didn't expect anything less when you and I get going, Charlie. But that was really helpful. I see Sam's popped some links in there, so I'll put them in later on as well. I'll definitely wean Best Agent, this is a promise, into some Power Bespoke brand marketing on socials and nurture emails and that kind of stuff. I'll be the guinea pig for everyone in the group, and then we can check in 2 or 3 months' time again and see what's happened.
That would be amazing, Perry, because I just want to level the playing field for agents because it's in the interest of movers for that to happen.
Yeah, and look, like if we start getting leads from Best Agent and our guys ain't responding to them quick enough, then that's on us. Like, it might even make our own team pull their socks up even more, which I believe everyone should continually be doing. Brilliant. Love it. Thanks for your time.
Please follow, there's a Best Agent YouTube channel. Any agents who use YouTube or on YouTube, please follow the Best Agent YouTube channel, where I'll be putting out a lot more content and stories and telling the story how it's going. And that channel is intended expressly for agents to watch.
Love it. Cheers for your time.
Cool.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks, Perry. Thanks very much for having me on your channel. I really appreciate it.
Long overdue. It was needed a catch up, talking all things estate agency.
Yeah.
And we'll do it again in a couple of months. Love it.
Fantastic. Thanks very much.
Take care. Cheers. See you later.
See you. Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming.